Good morning, and welcome to the 2019 Building Lives Breakfast. This is really our favorite day of the year because we're able to put all the pieces of our big puzzle together. You are our story, and the young people are the story that we work for this story. Thank you for packing the house this morning. When our young people go back to Youth Build after they've seen all of this love, they really do become inspired by the fact that the community is behind them all the way. I'm Lynn Rippy. I'm one of the founders. Marsha Weinstein on the front table is another one of the founders of Youth Build Louisville. And we gather today to update you on the progress since last year, but also to let the newcomers know a little bit more about us. We exist to champion young people. That's what we do, champion young people to build a sustainable community. And our young people do just that once we give them the chance to do so. Since opening in 2001, we've grown from a 4-person staff at Jefferson Community and Technical College to a 22-person staff on a 1-acre campus in Smoketown. Yes. And in 2020, we will dedicate our new training space of an additional 8,000 square feet. Now, we've got a ton of people in this room right now who have helped us get to that place, and we appreciate you. But the expansion allows us to grow our Youth Build program 25% bigger by having 45 young people this year instead of our normal 35. To serve another 60 young people through a homeless program that we're working with collaborative partners. And of those 60 young people, to house 20 of those young people. So 20 young people who don't have a home today will have a home. Yeah. In September, we launched the Urban Conservation Corps, and we are so excited about the fact that our Conservation Corps members are out in the community working, planting trees, and changing things every day. And we also will be moving our staff in from Summer Works, and those people are going to be helping around 3,000 young people move into first-time jobs this summer. So that's a pretty exciting situation for us this year. Youth Build provides the pieces of a young person's life that might be missing. And just as we have all provided our own children those pieces and made sure in the holiday season, it's more evident than ever, that we provided those pieces for our own kids and kids around us. But Youth Build provides young adults the stabilization they need through meeting their basic daily needs of shelter, food, clothing, childcare, access to health care. And we also provide solid educational opportunities to ensure that young people complete their high school diploma and get ready for post-secondary education. I think really the secret sauce is that we provide love and attention, social and vocational and educational experiences, and all of those things build confidence in young people because you know from your own children, when they are safe and supported, that their confidence grows. And the same thing happens with the young people that we serve. It happens through a dedicated and committed and competent staff, and you met them earlier, a committed board, and all the volunteers. And last year, we had over 700 volunteers that worked with us on projects through Youth Build or with our Youth Build young people. That's a lot of community support for these young folks. And together, we provided instruction, direction, role modeling, and a sense of family, a sense of something that young people felt bigger than what they felt before. They felt like there was something bigger for them than they felt before. As most of us work on large puzzles, we really try to make sure that we stabilize them by putting all the edges around first. And then if in that puzzle we have a piece, and I know you all know what I'm talking about, that has a rambled edge or it's all, some babies chewed on it and the edges come up. Well, they don't fit, right? They don't fit into the puzzle. And they don't fit until they're repaired or smoothed out some kind of way. And that's the same thing that's true for our young people. They fit in our community, but they might need a little smoothing out. Many times, our young people don't have the resources to fit into the traditional path to move them into adulthood. And unless they have the resource and guidance that they need, they may never successfully reach their full potential. But that's really our wheelhouse. Youth Build USA and the Department of Labor did a 48-month survey of 75 sites across the country, of which we were one. The results behind me show that the Youth Build model, coupled with highly skilled staff and adequate resources, work for thousands of kids in this nation every year. Our evidence-based study proves that Youth Build students perform higher than their peers when they are involved, peers that are involved in similar services. Their GED attainment is increased by 63%. Their college enrollment is increased by 33%. Their weekly earnings are increased by 38%. And their trade licensing and trade certifications in construction, nursing, and now IT are higher at 73%. And that's great, but I'm really proud to tell you that Youth Build Louisville excels in all of those spaces. You can see by the red line on the chart, we're above the national average in every one of those categories. The report also went on to highlight that when we spend $89 million a year on these 75 sites, we save this country $1.3 billion in the lifetime savings of these young people. And that comes from tax loss, crime, health issues, welfare. When $1 is spent on a Youth Build student, there's a return on investment of $10. So that's a win for our kids, that's a win for this community, it's a win for our country. And while this is amazing, what we've also learned is that our graduates continue to give back at 64% higher than their peers. Our graduates really are gifts that just keep on giving. And you'll meet one in a minute and you'll see what I mean. On our construction site this year, young people realized we needed a little bit extra help. They came in and did a final coat of paint, hung security doors, and added insulation. These alumni act from a place of love and compassion and willingness to give back once they have the chance to do so. But the message I'm really trying to drive home is that our young people learn to be like puzzle masters. They drop by the table when somebody's working on a puzzle to make sure that they can help them fit that piece back in. As our agency grows to serve more of our community's young folks, we need your help as puzzle masters by providing just the right resources, by helping us to champion them so that they can complete their own life puzzle. To recognize a few amazing gifts this year, we again have a commitment from LDG Development of $20,000 to sponsor a student this year. They are a national multifamily affordable housing developer headquartered right here in Louisville. And they've chosen to sponsor a student for the second year that will offer them a chance for a summer internship in addition to covering their boots, tools, teachers, and apprenticeships. A second gift I'd like to mention, which is also supporting us this year, is another donation from an individual who has supported our young people to travel to Versailles, France for the last 7 years. They'll go on an environmental course of study this year for 2 weeks. We want to thank both of you guys for making that possible and to give our students these life-changing opportunities. And while we're grateful, we are currently waiting for the Department of Labor to make their 2019 funding announcements, about 6 months late, I might add. And that is really our main source of program funding. But once announced, which we know is going to be announced, and we're there, our gap to serve the goal of our 45 kids this year is about $225,000 in the program operations. In addition to that, to complete our campus this year, we have a gap of about $124,000 to complete the campus, which is to complete the new building so that everybody has a place to sit down and do their work. The need for community support is great. You are the essential piece in helping close that gap. Please join with us to assist our young people to fill in all of their missing pieces and experience success. They need us now, and we know that an investment in them is the best one we could possibly make. Help us help them fill in all their missing pieces. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce a video that was produced in celebration of Youth Build USA's 40th anniversary. This video really embodies the heart and soul of Youth Build Louisville.
In 1981, when Victor Ortiz, one of the founding teenagers, stood up in front of 300 young people who we had gathered together in East Harlem, as the East Harlem Youth Congress, and he said, "There's a lot of love in the Youth Action Program, and someday we're going to spread it around the world."
I came to Youth Build because my family was just going through a lot, and I had lost a younger brother to the prison system when I was 19 years old, and that affected me tremendously. And so I decided to change my life around, and that's where one of my friends told me about the Youth Build program.
In 1979, I believed myself to be an invisible kid walking the streets from public housing on my way to work, feeling like insignificant, no one cares about my existence, and there's probably nothing ahead of me waiting, anything positive whatsoever. But when I arrived at Youth Action, Youth Build, I was very excited to be part of a group that had a vision.
The original impetus for Youth Build was about creating a positive force of young leaders emerging from low-income communities, because I'd already been in Harlem and East Harlem for 14 years when I started Youth Action Program, which was the precursor to Youth Build. And I thought there was a huge energy and intelligence and goodness that was being suppressed.
There was a headline in the Village Voice in the early 1980s that had a picture of Dorothy and said, "A radical faith in young people." And I think that headline really caught it.
I was in New York City in 1992 for the Democratic Convention, and I made a commitment to go up into Harlem to see this program that Dorothy Stoneman had started. I went up there. It was absolutely fascinating. Listening to these kids was revelational. It was just unbelievable to hear the changes this program had made in their lives.
When I first was acknowledged within the program or anywhere in my life was in the Youth Build program. And you know, I was only in the program for a month, and I remember my principal, he literally told me, like, you know, I want to appreciate this young man. This young man is James Mackey. And never has anyone acknowledged the good things that I've done. When he acknowledged me, that was like the turning point of my life. And that is what I try to instill in every young person or people in general.
That all of these kids, they went to the program and it saved their lives. And that kid after kid for whom this was their first opportunity to make something of themselves, where somebody cared about them, where someone, in fact, one kid said to me, "I'd never had anybody say I love you in all of my life until I got into Youth Build." I said, I got to make this a national program. I believe in this thing.
In a way, it's kind of like a family, you know? We have each other's backs no matter what. If we have trouble with something, we help each other, especially when it comes to in-classroom stuff as well. Overall, I'm just glad to be part of Youth Build, because without Youth Build, I really wouldn't have a, place to go to.
One of the things that sets Youth Build apart from any program in this country is the power of love.
What Youth Build has taught me is to not only learn how to advocate for yourself, which I've been doing my whole life, but how to advocate for other people. And when there's something that's wrong, how to take action and do something about it.
I graduated 20 years ago. I have friends who I call family in the network who are graduates who graduated a year ago, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. And what's unique is that we feel connected in a way that many other people don't. And I don't feel alone, right? And I think at some point I felt alone. And Youth Build has given me a network of loving and caring people that I think I'll carry with me for the rest of my life.
There is a false idea in this country that people are poor because they're lazy and want to be dependent. And we came with the language of responsibility and opportunity and taking initiative. And so we got bipartisan support when we made it clear that the young people were going to work hard, they were going to produce something of value to their community and educate themselves. Everybody could unite around that. It was all about opportunities, and opportunities that young people, if they seized the opportunity, they could reclaim their life.
Their ability to gather champions around that mission of growth and extending the resource to many, many communities in the United States, but also around the world, is quite a powerful combination.
And we're so excited that at this point, at our 40-year mark, we have 180,000 graduates. And we envision a world where these 180,000 graduates are working together, building social capital, addressing challenges in their communities, and transforming the world.
We have had very little difficulty from the young people, because when they see love and they see opportunity combined in one place, in a place that's safe and respectful, a transformation happens remarkably quickly. I can't go anywhere in Youth Build without a young person approaching me and saying, "Thank you for starting Youth Build. Without Youth Build, I would probably be dead or in jail. But because of Youth Build, I'm in college, or I'm in the union, or I own my own home, or I started my own business, or I have started a nonprofit, or I have run for office."
Dorothy Stoneman was really one of my heroes, without any question whatsoever, and all the time I've been in public life. She's the personification of great citizen, and citizen is one of the most important responsibilities any of us have.
Through the power of love and the power of the movement of Youth Build and what Dorothy did for us, it changed our life. And we was able to move not only our family, but our community, and move a movement. And it was amazing.